investigation in full before and after Evelyn's body was found? Anything that led you to believe that her body had been moved to Tommy's property after the defendant had been moved to Tommy's property after law enforcement had already been there?
No.
Okay. 1 minute. Anything that led law enforcement to believe that Tommy Boswell was somehow involved in Evelyn's body being placed in that playhouse?
Objection, cause for speculation.
I can ask it in a different way.
Sustained as to the form of the question
Okay.
at this point.
Based upon your full investigation, did anything pursuant to your investigation lead you to believe that Tommy Boswell was involved?
No.
Did anything in your investigation lead you to believe that Tommy Boswell knew that Evelyn's body was in that playhouse?
No.
Okay. Ethan Perry, did he fully cooperate with law enforcement?
Yes, Mr. Perry cooperated.
Was Ethan Perry fully investigated?
Yes, he was.
Was Ethan Perry eliminated as a suspect in this case?
Yes, Mr. Perry was eliminated.
Was law enforcement able to determine that the story Megan Boswell told law enforcement about Ethan having Evelyn was a lie? That's a lot of words. I mean,
Objection sustained in part, overruled in part.
I'm going to try to ask this in a different, less wordy way. Do you recall the story that the defendant gave you about Ethan Perry?
Yes, I recall that.
What did she tell you about Ethan Perry initially?
The defendant told us that Ethan Perry had Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. And again, when you're looking at your investigation as a whole from beginning until the end, were you able to determine whether or not what the defendant told you about Ethan was the truth?
Yes, we were able to determine whether that was true.
Okay, and what was your determination?
It was not true.
Okay. The defendant's boyfriend at the time, Hunter Wood, did he cooperate with law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay. Was Hunter Wood investigated?
Yes, he was investigated.
Was Hunter Wood eliminated as a suspect?
Yes, he was.
Anything at all that led you to believe that Hunter Wood was involved in Evelyn's death and or disappearance?
No.
Angela Boswell, the defendant's mom, and her boyfriend, Will McLeod, did they both cooperate with law enforcement?
Yes, both Angela Boswell and William McLeod cooperated.
Were they both investigated?
Yes, they were both investigated.
Were they eliminated as suspects?
Yes, both of them were eliminated.
Do you recall what Megan Boswell told you about Angela or Angel, her mom, at the beginning of the investigation?
At the very beginning, or?
What did she tell you about her mom?
Well, after a few days into the investigation, the defendant told us that Angela had Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. And based upon the entire investigation, were you able to determine whether or not that was the truth or not?
We were able to determine whether that was true, yes.
Okay, and what was your determination?
That was not true.
Is there any individual that the investigation continued to point at?
There was one individual.
Okay, who was that?
It was the defendant.
Okay. Please answer any questions the defense has for you.
Morning, Mr. Gratz. How are you?
Good morning, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good.
Thank you.
I'm going to start kind of where Miss Massengill left off.
Okay.
She asked you about clearing certain suspects.
Correct.
And she used the words and asking you about Hunter Wood, if there's anything at all about him that caused you all to disbelieve him as not being a suspect. In other words, y'all conclusively concluded he's not a suspect.
We did after we investigated him.
Okay. And as part of that investigation, I'm sure, did you collect his DNA?
No, I did not.
Matter of fact, he refused his DNA to law enforcement, didn't he?
I think at some point he did.
Okay. So his DNA cannot be compared with any of the DNA where the body was found.
That would be a question better answered by the lab personnel. As
You were the case agent. Do you know if it
Yeah.
was?
I'm sorry.
You were the case agent.
Yes, I was.
And as the case agent, you're basically in charge of the case. You give directives about what to do and so forth.
Maybe not quite that far, but I am the lead investigator for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
And do you know if his DNA was processed against anything? If you know.
No.
You don't know, or it wasn't?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was not.
Okay. Did you obtain fingerprints from him?
I'm almost certain I collected his standard of fingerprints, yes.
And you say you're almost certain. Do you know for sure or not?
I think I collected them from the booking at the jail. When someone's booked into jail,
Okay, so
their fingerprint.
he'd been arrested for something before, is what you're saying?
Yes.
At the time of the investigation, were you aware that Mr. Woods was schizophrenic?
No.
Did you look into that at any point during this investigation, his mental health?
At a much later date.
Okay. And did you all investigate any connection between people with schizophrenia and people that tinfoil hats? Mr. Gratz, we were talking about Hunter Wood.
Yes.
And you indicated that sometime later you become aware that he was schizophrenic.
I knew he was having some mental health issues. I'm not sure that I knew the actual diagnosis, but I am aware of issues.
Did you investigate his health issues in relation to this case? And for instance, what I'm asking is, the first time I asked you about schizophrenia, you seemed to indicate that you knew that.
I knew he had some type of mental health issues, yes.
Did you investigate, give consideration to the possibility that the tinfoil could be related on the baby, could have been placed there by someone with mental health issues?
We did a significant investigation into the tinfoil, yes, and it underwent what I would call significant forensic analysis to determine whether there is any type of DNA or fingerprints on the tinfoil.
Okay, but short of forensic analysis, did you all investigate, is there something that might make someone place tinfoil on a child? Like, for instance, people with schizophrenia are known to wear tinfoil hats.
Your Honor, may we approach?
I think we've covered it.
All right, objection sustained in part, overruled in part.
Agent Gratz, did you investigate any connection between mental health and whoever placed the tinfoil on this child?
I'm not aware of any theories of like mental health issues is concerned with tinfoil, so nothing specific like that was ever investigated. Does that answer your question?
To your knowledge, did anyone in your prosecution team do that?
As far as mental health issues and tinfoil hats?
Yes.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
So going back to Hunter Wood, you said he declined to give you his DNA.
Not me. I don't remember ever having many face-to-face interactions with Mr. Wood, and I don't recall that it was me that asked for
But
it.
he did decline to give it to law enforcement.
I believe so at some point.
So that wouldn't be 100% cooperative with the investigation, would it?
I guess it depends on how you look at it. I think that could be answered as a yes or no.
Let's go back to the investigation at the Boswell property.
Okay.
And as a case agent, I assume you're aware of what searches were conducted when and the results thereof.
Generally speaking, there are a lot of moving parts, and in an investigation this large, with this many agencies involved, I did my best to really maintain a clear chain of information and make sure everything that was happening was being documented on paper, memorialized in some type of form, and brought back to me or to someone who would later bring it to me to put it in a file.
And Tommy Boswell's property was searched on February 23rd, is that correct?
With that specific date, I would have to go back and look.
Do you have something that would refresh your memories to that? Do you have notes?
In the case file, yes.
Is that something you could easily access?
Relatively, it might take a moment to look through.
Judge, I'd ask to refresh his memory with his notes.
You want me to?
Can he sit down to get those?
Can you give me that date one more time, please?
February 23rd.
Thank you.
I guess he's not on the microphone, but I would ask for any other date it was searched as well.
That'll just go.
Okay.
Jenna, let him do that somewhere other than right in front of you. Mr. Gratz, if you had a chance to review your notes, refresh your memory,
Yes, I did.
was a search conducted of Tommy Boswell's property on February the 23rd?
Yes, it appeared that after looking at my notes that Mr. Boswell Sr. had given written consent and permission for law enforcement to search his property.
And do you recall who searched the property?
Yes, that there were a team, or was a team there. There were members of the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office present, as well as at least one member, or I suppose two, of the Union County Sheriff's Office. And that would be Union County, Tennessee.
And a cadaver dog searched the property that day and provided no hits, is that correct?
That, according to the report.
Would the report would be correct to the best of your knowledge?
I would have to defer to the officer that conducted that to those that were present.
Is your report, Ms. Gratz, IR 115, author is David Gratz.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with me about that?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So you would have recorded the information you were provided by the team, whether or not the dog hit, correct?
My report essentially reflects that there was another report issued. So the other report was issued by the Union County Sheriff's Office.
On February 21st was a search done of the Boswell Trailer Park on, I believe it's Sugar Hollow Road.
Yes, I believe a team had gone out there.
And were cadaver dogs taken that day?
I know they were taken at some point. The specific day, I'm just not sure.
You don't remember?
No, I don't. I do know they were taken out there.
Would your report from that day refresh your memory?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Gratz, that report indicates that property was searched on February 21st, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And it also, does it indicate that 3 cadaver dogs were taken around the trailer of Megan Boswell?
And that's the property at
Sugar Hollow.
Sugar Hollow Road.
The report I just showed you.
Yes.
And does it also indicate that there were no final responses from the cadaver dog search?
It does.
I want to go back to Hunter Wood's fingerprints that you obtained from the jail.
Okay.
Did you obtain palm prints or just fingerprints?
It would be the standard prints they take, which I think are what we would refer to as major case prints.
Could you explain that, please?
Sure. It's a small standardized document that has a box for each finger of each hand. And I think at the bottom there's an area for some larger, like a box area for larger parts of the hand to be fingerprinted. And they are filled out, depending on the department, either in ink or electronically.
And do you know one way or the other if Hunter Wood's palm print was taken?
I would have to look at his major case or his prints to determine that.
Are you also aware there was a palm print on that trash can where Evelyn was found?
I would have to defer to forensic scientist David Hoover for that.
You're unaware of that?
I know there were prints found on the can. I am aware of that. To say palm print versus fingerprint, I'm not sure.
Okay. Can I approach the court reporter, please? Gratz, I want to show you what's been previously marked as Exhibit 17.
Flip. There you go.
You recognize that photo?
Yes, I do.
As I understand it, you were the photographer on scene.
Yes, that is correct.
So did you take this photo?
Yes.
Is that where the trash can was when you all entered the building?
Yes.
I see in the top of that trash can, it looks like there's a white trash bag and a black trash bag. Can you see that?
Yes.
The black trash bag, was it fully removed in there? Did you fully remove it from the can in there?
Oh, we removed everything.
Inside of the building? Inside or outside?
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Well, I think we've seen pictures here that show stuff being removed from the trash can outside. What was removed from the trash can inside of the building?
The best I can remember, like, there were the part of those bags would have been moved back, which is when we initially saw that skin. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
Yes. So part of that would have been disturbed, moved, however you want to characterize it. And when we saw what we believed was human flesh.
And that black trash bag, was it at some point taken out of the can inside of the building?
Was it taken out of that can while it was inside the
Yes.
playhouse? I want to say we removed all of that after we had set the trash can out on the porch.
I'll show you what's been marked as Exhibit 15.
Mm-hmm.
That black trash bag appears that it's been moved.
Yes, we moved those bags.
Okay, is it your testimony that you could see around the trash bag in that condition to see the body?
When you're standing above it, you could see part of the body, yes.
So that bag, it wasn't taken out and placed back, is what I'm asking you. Was it taken out and placed back in the can?
Was like totally removed from the trash can and then pushed back in there?
They're set back in there like that.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Is it possible?
Yeah, sure.
What about the other bag, specifically the bag containing the body? Is it possible that it was moved somewhat in the can by your all's investigation?
Not until we were really out there processing that. As you could tell from their photographs, when it was first removed, it still really had that shape of the can.
Did it move at all?
I'm sorry.
The bag with the body, did it move at all in the can while you were going through it and moving it?
We were systematically pulling things out of there. So, at some point the bag certainly moved.
Okay. The bag with the baby.
Yes.
You went through some photographs with various items in the trash can here, I think Saturday we were going through it.
Oh, yes.
Do you recall the contents? Let's ask you this way. There were no leaves in the trash can, were there?
Leaves?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
None at all?
No.
Okay, just a minute. Is it, going back to the fingerprints of Hunter Woods, you said you obtained those from a jail?
I'm fairly certain that I went to the booking area and obtained his prints,
Was
yes.
that here from the Sullivan County Jail?
Yes,
And you know which arrest that was from?
I do not.
That's all the questions I have, Judge.
Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. How many interviews of what we call lay witnesses do you think were conducted during this investigation?
More than I could sit here and count. I mean, there were a lot. A lot of people were interviewed. Several witnesses were interviewed multiple times.
Okay. More than 20?
Yes,
Okay. More than 30?
probably.
Okay. And at the same time, you're conducting an investigation with law enforcement, is that right? Law enforcement is conducting a full investigation.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And I think I asked you this on Saturday. Do you feel like you followed every credible lead that you could?
We followed everything that came in.
Out of every person that was interviewed, did any say that they ever saw Hunter Wood with Evelyn Boswell?
Objection, Your Honor, the calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Objection sustained.
One moment. Okay. All right. No other questions, Your Honor.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Is this witness free to go?
He is. We would ask that he stay under.
I would ask him subject to recall, and he has things to get back to work on, but I would ask him to be subject to recall.
Mr. Gratz, you're going, not being released from your subpoena, you're still subject to recall. You don't have to stay here at the courthouse, just so long as we can get a hold of you and get you that time.
Thank you.
I'm assuming you take a price of the next.
He is, Judge. State recall Detective Matt Price.